That's in the Colossians 4:7 verse. He called him a faithful servant and a beloved brother. Now ask yourself this, why would Paul call for a lawyer? You've been to jail as many times as Paul would, you'd have one on speed dial. Right? This is like the first century speed dial. Bring Zenas along. I'm going to need some good legal help. He was either a master at Jewish law or Roman law. But anyway, he was a lawyer. He knew the ins and outs. So bring him along too. See, Paul got in trouble a lot. Apollos. This guy was probably the most well-known of all these four guys. He was from Alexandria, Egypt. Over in Acts chapter 18, it first mentions Apollos. He's out preaching the baptism of John. And doing a good job. But a guy named Aquila and his wife Priscilla heard him. He says, hey, how did you hear this? Well, have you ever heard of Jesus? He said, no, I've only heard of the baptism of John. And he went on to start telling, but skilled speaker. But they introduced him to Jesus. Man, that guy got saved and was on fire. Boy, he was preaching. He was a preaching machine. Okay? But he was led to Christ by Aquila and his wife Priscilla while he was teaching the baptism of John. See, Paul knew this because he made tents with Aquila and Priscilla. He was a tent maker by trade. They made tents, so he went to work and was a bivocational preacher, evangelist. The other name that's mentioned here is the name of a town, Nicopolis. Okay, it was the town that Paul wanted Titus to come to and join him for the winter. I'm going to winter there. And the name of the town actually means the city of victory and could be one of 9 different places because there were several Nicopolises. But this one was probably in southern Greece off the west coast of Achaia. We should follow good leaders because they got a solid mission. Okay? Number 4 here, they're to teach the people to do good works for the advancement of the gospel. They're to teach people. You don't do good works to be saved, church. Amen?
Amen.
You don't do it to be saved. You do good works because you are saved. That's over in Ephesians 2, verses 8 through 10 tell you that.
That's right.
We're saved by faith, saved by grace through faith, and that not of works. It is a gift of God. It says, that no one should boast. It said, for we are the workmanship of God, created for good works. But it says we're to meet urgent needs too. There's urgent needs out there too. Sometimes there's emergencies that happen. This thing in Texas, my son taking all that wood around to these fellow airmen's house who had lost power. They could stay warm that way. They could actually, you can cook food over a fire, which I've done it. I've cooked an animal or 2 over a fire. Cooked plenty of hot dogs. But we're to be the hands and feet of Christ. So that's why we're to meet these urgent needs. Being fruitful is what the church should be about. Church, an unfruitful church will die. Jesus said that over in John 15, verses 2 through 6. An unfruitful church will die. It says, any that doesn't bear fruit will be cut off and cast into the fire. That's what Jesus said. Now, a fruitful church is healthy and will survive the storms of life. So where does this leave us? The gospel should be our focus. Not any of these other divisive things. Okay? We can discuss them in a civil manner, but put them to bed. Because our main focus is the gospel. All the other stuff going on is a distraction from our main purpose as the church. Amen?
Amen.
All right. Reject dissension. Be like Granny. Get that switch and run it out of town. Okay? Don't allow it to get a foothold. Don't allow it to get a toehold. Don't allow it shattered across the threshold. Church discipline must be exercised as a deterrent to divisiveness. It must be. We just can't allow, I think the Irish term is shenanigans. We can't allow shenanigans to take root. And lastly, be about good works. We should engage in acts of benevolence, not because it's the right thing to do, even though it is, but we need to engage it so that doors can be opened to present the gospel. If you show up over at a fellow co-worker's house that's been sick, he's been out for 3 or 4 days, and you show up with a big pot of chicken soup, homemade biscuits, you've just opened the door to share the gospel, okay? It ain't about the soup and the biscuits, it's about Jesus, church. Everything we must do should be filtered through our gospel message. You understand me? Everything that we do should be filtered through the gospel. Whether it's a pot of soup and homemade biscuits, or the Pillsbury things in the bag that I buy anymore. I can make biscuits, but man, that's a lot of work. I like to peel that bag open, put them on the pan and go. Or whether it's a casserole, or whether it's showing up as a couple folks at a church I know up there in Maryland, just show up at a driveway and start pushing snow. It's about the gospel. And you opening doors by your good works. Mrs. Nong's going to come and we're going to sing this closing hymn. I ran a little bit over, so I do apologize, but man, I get to go on to talking about Jesus, I lose track of time. You get me? All right. I don't apologize for the message. I love Jesus, not the schedule.
1 and 4?
576.
First and last?
First and last. 576. Take the